Okay, so I've been asked a question about death and somebody who's approaching death and what we do with those feelings that arise of sadness and a feeling of impending loss when somebody dies. So let's just start with a really, if you have to accept this intellectually, then that's where you start. Intellectually, what the Course tells us is there is no life outside of heaven. Heaven would be our infinite being up here. So with the separation, separation was the first death. It was going from the infinite to the finite. So now there's a finite me, and it has a finite amount of time to live in the world, and that time sort of spices up life because there's only so much of it, and I got to spend it in the right way and use my moments well. Except when you're young, of course, you think you're going to live forever, so you don't make many decisions based on how can I spend my time well. So you get to be an old fart like me. And lots of people around you getting sick, our bodies are falling apart. It gets pretty scary. It's not for the faint of heart. And so then somebody close to us dies, and why is that so upsetting? If you know that person's been in pain, you know they're going to be freed from the pain. Why is that so upsetting? It's upsetting because my self-concept, my wrong mind, makes a self-concept that comes out of this idea that I'm a separate being. Well, death is a symbol of God taking back my separate existence that I stole from him in the first place. And so that's why we're all upset about death. And other people also, we make part of our own self-concept. So your self-concept consists of you at the center, and then all those people who orbit around you, your friends, your family, people you know in the news, political leaders or whatever. All of those people are part of you in your story, in your world. And when any big chunk of that goes away, I'm thinking back to 1960s when President Kennedy was shot. And everybody that I knew, old and young, I was in college at the time, but it was just a brutal hit to the awareness, that feeling of tremendous loss. And all of it had to be coming from up here, that feeling that God's finally broken through and he's coming to get me. So there's always that going on, and the best way that you can be helpful to somebody who's in your life whose body is failing is you can go up here and turn to the light in your right mind, because you and that person are there together. They never were bodies. The Course says at no single instant does the body exist at all. It is remembered or anticipated. So how lovely that mind is going to be free of that little failing shell. What a blessing. Wish them well on their next dream, their next journey. You don't know if that's their last one or not. So wish them well, but you start with where you think you are. So you start with that feeling of grief and fear. Because really it's reminding you of that decision we made. No, we don't want to be part of infinite love and light and being. We want to be separate. And it feels like it's going to be the punishment. That's what death is to us. So just have that awareness and hold your friend here in the light, in the blessing, and know that it's all perfect. So that's it on death.